Okay, almost ready. Okay, Madam Chair, we are on the record.
Okay, thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the City of Paterson's Planning Board meeting. I'm going to ask everyone to please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. Commissioners, Planning Board, staff, and ladies and gentlemen, as chairwoman of the City of the Paterson Planning Board, I call this meeting of November 2nd, 2022 to order. I hereby state that all the provisions of the State of New Jersey Public Meeting Law have been fully and completely met, that the notice of provisions required have been properly posted in the Planning Board office and with the City of Paterson clerk, and that the public notice and advertisements have been published in the Herald News on October 21st, 2022, in accordance with the law, and that the copies of such notice, also the agenda listing the applications to be taken up by the Planning Board at this meeting. Tonight's procedure will be in accordance with the rules, regulations, and bylaws as heretofore determined by the Planning Board at its office at 125 Ellison Street in the City of Paterson. Madam Secretary, may we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Hassan.
Present.
Commissioner Hussein.
Present.
Commissioner Iranzo.
Present.
Commissioner Roman.
Present.
Madam Vice Chair Santana.
Present.
And Madam Chair Northrop.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask that when you're not speaking, can everybody please, so there's no background noise, especially during the presentations, that everybody mute themselves, okay, during that time. Thank you. So, notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107, given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020, by Governor Philip D. Murphy. The Planning Board of the City of Paterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10:4-8, commencing on April 15th, 2020. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the council chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Paterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for reasons of compliance and with the said Executive Order Number 107, public participation will be available by calling 973-321-1579. Meeting ID is 3158. And it would be for this Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. for this meeting. And I will repeat the meeting ID and the phone number later on during the course of this meeting on the date and time that the meeting is scheduled to commence, and that is tonight. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Paterson, www.patersonnj.gov, and following the email link for the meeting, which is also www.patersonnj.gov. I also would like to thank Vice Chair Santana for taking over the meeting on Monday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, so I want to thank her for doing that for me. All right, so this evening we have three applications on our agenda. We have Lafayette Street Overlay District, we have Paragon New Jersey Properties, and we have Paragon Asset Management. And I believe we're going to start with Lafayette Street Overlay District. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, Madam Secretary, okay. So we're going to be doing that first. So that would be, who is doing that?
Mr. John Barry.
John Barry, of course, okay. So where is he? I see him, but I can hear his, I can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, Mr. Barry.
Just roughly, do I need to be sworn for this matter?
I'm not certain of that. Al?
I'm sorry, question.
Yes, he does.
What was the question?
I was asking if I needed to be sworn in.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so could Mr. Reagan? Mr. Reagan, where did he go?
Hold on, Ms. Reagan, hold on a second. I just asked her to unmute.
This is she. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly say or affirm that the testimony you're about to give during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. So I just want to say that the planning board will act on a referral from the city council to amend Paterson Code Chapter 483, zoning and land development, to create an overlay zone known as the Lafayette Street Overlay District on Block 3019, lots 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is bordered by Franklin Street, the Railway, and Lafayette Street. After hearing the referral, the board may entertain discussion or may make recommendations and transmit a report to the city council as to the consistency of the plan with the city's master plan. So basically, if I'm reading this correctly, we would, at the end of this, listening to Mr. Barry's testimony on this particular overlay, we would then make a recommendation to the city council. Is that correct, Al?
That is correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, great, thank you. You may proceed then, Mr. Barry, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. As you may recall, I was before you just over 2 months ago, mid-August, and discussed in preliminary form the Lafayette Street Overlay District that was proposed, essentially for the properties that were listed out by the chair, the 9 lots in Block 3019. The proposal was to provide an overlay district that would be an option that would retain the existing underlying zoning, which is a mix of residential and industrial zoning today. The overlay would provide another option to allow development of multifamily housing or mixed-use development. And following that discussion, the board adopted a resolution recommending that the municipal council consider the ordinance. Went to the council. We had a couple discussions with the council and the various economic development committee, and the council introduced the ordinance and referred it back to the planning board for the required consistency review of the master plan, which is required by the statute of the municipal land use law. So nothing's changed since our discussion in August as far as the intent behind the ordinance or the substance of the ordinance. I'll give you just a brief refresh and don't want to belabor the point, but I'll share my screen quickly. Orient everybody, this is Google Earth image of the area we're talking about. We've got Lafayette Street on the bottom, Franklin Street on the top, Rosa Parks Boulevard to our left, and the railroad tracks to the right. The area we're talking about is this industrial and gas station looking area for which the overlay is intended. Gas station is essentially vacant at this point. There's a commercial laundry business that occupies this. No intention of changing any of the existing uses unless the property owners desire to do so. This is not anything that's mandatory. It just provides another development option. And the intent is to allow for development similar to what you see across the street, across Lafayette Street that's been built. Those are, we've got the new multifamily housing buildings that have come online over the last couple of years.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Barry, just very quickly.
Wait, before you go forward, I'm going to say that we need to tell the public that they need to press star one to listen to this. If they're on the phone, if they're on anywhere trying to get on and trying to listen, they need to press star one. Okay, please continue, Mr. Aquafina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Barry, so just briefly to summarize, the proposed change, if you will be to encourage more residential housing in this particular area. I just want to make it clear for the board exactly what the recommendation would be.
Right, so it would allow for the existing uses to remain and for the type of development that's there today in the industrial zone to continue, but it would provide an overlay zone that gives us an alternate option to develop multifamily housing, which is consistent with some of the activity that has been taking place in the neighborhood.
Which would then effectively bring any applications for those uses before this board.
That's correct, yes. Certainly any future application that conforms to the new district would come before the planning board.
Right, as opposed to right now, those uses that, you're highlighting in your proposed plan here would not be, they require use variances, would not be before this board. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. It would have to go to the zoning board of adjustment.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to clarify that. So basically, by recommending this overlay zone, multifamily residential and similar type uses, applications of that nature would come before this board, if the council were so to, take the recommendation of the board, if the board is so inclined to recommend this to the council.
All right, well, I should also mention that if you have anyone in the public listening, they need to press star 3 to be added to the speaker queue. But in any event, we don't have anything. I just checked. We don't have any calls coming in. So at this time, I'm going to open it up to the commissioners. Commissioners, do you have any questions regarding Mr. Barry's presentation? Okay, I don't hear any, so then I'm going to ask, would any commissioner like to make a motion on this?
And just for clarification, Madam Chair, the motion would be to either recommend the proposed overlay zone or to not recommend the overlay zone. Obviously, if it was a recommendation, it would then go before the council for further ratification.
And before we do that, Madam Chair, sorry to interrupt, we do, even though there are no public here, we have to close the public portion.
I'm going to say that right now. Okay, make a motion to close the public portion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Hassan.
Okay, Commissioner Hassan, second. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Hassan? Commissioner, yes or no, Commissioner Hassan?
I'm going to say yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, Commissioner Hussein?
Yes.
Commissioner Lianzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Roman?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Santana? Yes. And Madam Chair Northrup?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, do I have a motion to either request that this go before the city council?
Madam Chair, may I interject briefly? I would be appropriate also for the board to make a finding that the proposal is consistent with the master plan as well. That's really the charge that the council has forwarded to us.
Do I have a motion by anyone? Commissioner Alonso will make the motion and I'll read it.
Okay,
Is that okay,
Yeah.
Commissioner Alonso?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on the Lafayette Street Overlay District presentation, I would like to make a motion that we recommend that the city council move forward on this, to have a discussion, on this particular report. And I also want to make sure that it's put in the record that this is
Consistent with the master plan.
yeah, I'm trying to find the words, consistent with the master plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Commissioner Hussein?
Hassan.
Hassan, okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hassan.
Yes.
Commissioner Hussein.
Yes.
Commissioner Lianzo.
Yes.
Commissioner Roman. Commissioner Roman. Did I lose him? Okay, thank you, Commissioner Roman. Madam Vice Chair Santana?
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. I did not hear Commissioner Roman say yes. I heard her say I'm here.
Oh,
I don't know if his vote is yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Madam Vice Chair Santana?
Yes.
And Madam Chair Northwell?
Yes.
Thank you, okay. Madam Chair, we also,
For your time, Steve.
Madam Chair, we also have to adopt the resolution that I sent as well for this. It was included in the email.
Okay, Al, do you want to read it?
Sure. Madam Secretary, I'm assuming I have to read this in its entirety, correct? Not just a summary like the other resolutions that we're doing?
I don't think so. You could do a summary, that's fine. There's not.
Okay, so this is a proposed resolution of the planning board for finding the Lafayette Street Overlay District on block 3019, lots 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which are bordered by Franklin Street, the railway, and Lafayette Street, is consistent with the master plan of the city of Paterson pursuant to municipal land use law. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Who was my second Lianzo?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Hassan?
Yes.
Commissioner Hussein? Commissioner Lianzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Roman?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair Santana? Madam Vice Chair?
Yes.
Okay, and Madam Chair Northwell?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So that will move on to the city council. Thank you. Thank you, you too.
Good evening.
Okay, so the next application we have is Paragon in New Jersey Properties LLC, 461 Hamilton Ave, Block 3416, Lot 9. Ms. Barsboot, are we going to move forward with that first?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. So on a 2000, who is representing this application?
Alan Americans, I'm the upon both those matters, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay. On a 2,058 square foot vacant parcel on the northeast corner of the William Street and Hamilton Avenue, the applicant proposes to construct a 2-unit residential dwelling consisting of 3 stories. Each unit will contain 3 bedrooms. 2 off-street parking spaces are proposed, and variances are requested for lot area as a minimum of 5,000 square feet is required, and 2,058 square feet exists. Lot width as a minimum of 50 is required, and 29.61 feet exist. Front yard setback as either minimum of 20 feet or an average of 10 feet is required, and 7 feet is proposed. Side yard setback as a minimum of 14 feet. Total side yard setback is required, and 3,008.08 feet is proposed on the eastern side, and 5.53 feet is proposed on the western side, which is also the secondary frontage along William Street, which requires a 20-foot setback. Rear yard setback is a minimum of 22 feet is required, and 7.66 feet is proposed. Lot building coverage is maximum 40% is permitted, and 56% is proposed, and parking is 4 parking spaces are required and 2 parking spaces are proposed. This proposal is within the R3 high medium density residential zone, and it requires site plan approval and bulk variances. This is their first appearance. Okay, Mr. Maricondo, so you're representing them. I'm going to ask Ms. Barsman, Mr. Deutsch is not here this evening, correct?
No, I'm going to present both projects.
Oh, okay, all right. So then, Ms. Barsman, would you give us your review?
Sure. Property taxes are current. There are new surcharges due on vacant land. Fernando Hernandez, providing an address of 411 19th Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey, owns more than 10% of Paterson, New Jersey Properties, LLC. As indicated on the survey prepared by James Hall and dated January 24, 2019, the parcel has frontage of 29.61 feet along Hamilton Avenue, additional frontage of 69.51 feet along William Street, and side and rear lot lines of 29.61 feet and 69.51 feet. The parcel has lot area of 2,058 square feet. The site is located on the northeast corner of William Street and Hamilton Avenue. The lot is vacant of any structure since prior to 2007. The remains of the fence are indicated along Hamilton Avenue. William Street is a one-way street in a northerly direction that is 2 blocks long and is located between Broadway and 12th Avenue. A 2.5-story dwelling is located to the east of the property in question on Hamilton Avenue. Evans Architects has prepared a 3-page site plan dated January 14, 2021. Sheet number F1 indicates the existing conditions plan, the tax map, notes details for the depressed driveway, sidewalk detail, and recharge kit. The site plan indicates that a proposed 2-family, 3-story dwelling is proposed 7 feet from the Hamilton Avenue property line, 5.53 feet from the William Street property line, 7.66 feet from the rear property line, and 3.08 feet from the easterly property line shared with adjacent lot 8. 2 vehicles are proposed to be parked in the garage, which has driveway access to William Street from a proposed 20-foot curb cut. The R3 high medium density residential district permits 2-family dwellings. A 2-unit dwelling must have 5,000 square feet of lot area. Sheet number A1 are the floor plans. The proposed first floor plan indicates a staircase that begins parallel to the front property line, leads to a landing, and then proceeds left and off additional steps to the front entryway, which is on the 2nd floor. At ground first floor level, the plan indicates a 694 square feet recreation room at the exterior corner of the dwelling, which is to be part of the 2nd floor unit. Doors from the recreation room lead to the 2nd floor unit and include half bathroom, a mechanical and laundry room, and to the 2-car garage. The 2nd floor plan indicates a 3-bedroom unit of 1,069 square feet that includes a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, and 2 full bathrooms. When the 1st floor recreation room of 694 square feet is included, the unit has total area 1,763 square feet. The 3rd floor 3-bedroom unit of 1,210 square feet is similar in layout to the 2nd floor plan. An unfinished attic plan, accessible by a hatch from the 2nd floor, is also indicated. Sheet number A-2 are the building elevations. The front elevation indicates a brick facade and the 1st floor double window of the recreation room and the masonry stairs leading to the 2nd floor 2 front doors. Bay windows are indicated on both the 2nd and 3rd floors, and a single window is placed in the stairwell. The building has a gable vent with an A-frame roof, and building materials include brick veneer. The rear elevation indicates double windows on the 2nd and 3rd floors surrounded by vinyl siding. The right side elevation indicates the masonry front staircase, a window on the 1st floor, and 3 single windows on the 2nd and 3rd floor. All 3 floors have a vinyl siding. The left side elevation indicates the double garage door and 3 single windows on all 3 floors surrounded by vinyl siding. The building has top height of 34 feet. In addition to the lot area variance, new variances are requested for lot width as a minimum of 50 feet is required and 29.61 feet excess. Front yard setback at either a minimum of 20 feet or an average of 10 feet is required and 7 feet is proposed. Side yard setback at a minimum of 14 feet in total side yard is required and 3.08 feet is proposed on the eastern side and 5.53 feet is proposed on the western side, which is also the secondary frontage along William Street, which requires a 20-foot setback. Rear yard setback at a minimum of 20 feet is required and 7.66 feet is proposed, and lot building coverage at a minimum of 40% is permitted and 56% is proposed. A total of 4 off-street parking spaces are required based on 2 parking spaces for each 3-bedroom unit. The applicant proposes 2 off-street parking spaces in a parallel arrangement within the first floor garage. Prior to final approval, the applicant shall provide a recorded deed indicating that this proposal is for a 2-unit dwelling only. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and/or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the 10th Avenue section of the city. The immediate area contains mainly older residential and commercial properties of 2 and 2.5 stories. The majority of lots are less than 3,750 square feet in area. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $200,000. That was the staff review for this project, Madam Chair.
Rhonda?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening again, Al Maricons on behalf of Paragon NJ. We are looking, as the report accurately describes from your planner, a small parcel that's a vacant lot that clearly we believe is in need of development. It's in the R3 zone, which permits this use, and we're looking to design a pretty typical 2-family here, and we'll be calling Matt Evans, and our client is available for confirmation of his testimony as well. So, Matt, at this time.
Before we swear him in, I just want to make sure we just have Matt Evans this evening and just the owner of the property on this particular application. Okay, all right, please proceed, I'm sorry. Could Ms. Reagan, please swear in Matt Evans?
Do you solemnly state or affirm that the testimony you're about to give during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, you're now on the oath.
Just state your name for the record.
Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Thank you, and we do accept him as an expert witness. Please move on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Evans, you obviously prepared the site plan and heard Ms. Farmer's report. Could you give us a summary of the background of this site and what we're looking to do here?
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if can you see the plans?
Looks like you need the Hubble telescope to read it, but it looks like it.
Oh, I got the next best thing. I got to
Zoom in.
Okay, you can zoom in a little bit, goody. All right, thank you.
So, looking at the site, we have the existing site, which is vacant right now, and it's 29.61 wide by 69.51 deep. It's a lot record, lot 9, block 3416. There was previously a house on this parcel in the past, similar to the ones I'll zoom go over to the tax map. We have the tax map shows lot 7, 8, 9. 7 and 8 still have existing structures on it, but 9 had either a fire loss or was demolished at some time. So what we're proposing is to put a new 2-family on this lot. And the design is similar to previous sites that have this type of configuration. We have a 2-car garage, which is on William Street, and the house is based on Hamilton Avenue. It's typical for many of these 2-family houses. The first page would show the site plan, site location, the existing conditions plan, and we have some site details, along with sheet A1 showing the lower level, first floor, second floor, and we just show an unfinished attic plan just to give you some showing what it would pull downstairs or scuttle to get to that area. We have the first floor plan, we have the, recreation room, two-car garage, powder room, mechanical laundry, and then we have a, stair going up directly into the, living, space of the first unit, Unit A. So that's a three-bedroom unit, two baths, and kitchen and open living dining area. That unit, in conjunction with the lower level, is 1,763 square feet. That meets the minimum requirement for a three-bedroom unit. And then we have Unit B, which is above that and has a separate entry, distinct from the unit below it. Has three bedrooms, two full baths, and is 1,221 square feet. That also meets the minimum requirement. Looking at the front, we have a mix of materials on this building, and we have brick, stucco, and some shingles and stone, and showing a bay window, double height for each unit. And looking at the side elevations, the right side is pretty plain, it's adjacent to the other house. And then on William Street, we have the two-car garage and windows along the first, second, and third floor. Looking at that, so that would be the extent of what we're proposing. The site is undersized, so we'd be seeking variances for some of those nonconformities existing and proposed. Based on applications we've done in the past, the scale, density, and character of this building is consistent with the neighborhood and the zone plan, and would not negatively impact the neighborhood. And we have two off-street parking spaces which are adjacent to each other, so they can have better access than a tandem style parking. And I feel that this application is well suited for this area.
And that these lot sizes in the surrounding area, as per our planner's report, many of them are undersized lots, is that correct?
Yeah, they're predominantly on Williams and Hamilton, this neighborhood, and East 23rd, they're all undersized lots.
And in conjunction with that, obviously, it's one of the goals of the master plan to fill in lots that are vacant with usable housing.
Yes.
That's all I have, Madam Chair, at this time.
Okay, I just have a quick question before we move on. This is a two-family home, so is it the person that lives or rents on the first floor is the one that has access to the recreation room?
Yeah, direct access, there's no exterior access, it's basically through the front door and walking down the stairs. So if you look at, looking at the front of the plan, you come up the stairs, you enter, and you either go directly downstairs within the living room, or go into the living room and through the kitchen, so there's no separated entrance for that. No
All right, so what I'm saying is the third floor does not have access to it, right?
No, it's completely separate, so the door adjacent to the second floor unit.
Right.
There's one door that only.
Okay. All right, no, that makes sense. I mean, first of all, if you have somebody on the first floor, it could be a landlord to begin with and has a basement. I get it. Okay. All right, so, let's call let's call the owner of the property and see, if he confers with everything that's been said.
Sure. Fernando?
Yes, Fernando speaking.
We need to swear him in. Ms. Reagan, can we swear him in, please?
Do you solemnly state or affirm that the testimony you're about to give during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, you're now on the oath.
Okay, thank you.
And you are the principal of Paragon NJ Properties, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And as such, you're fully familiar with this site and these plans of seeking?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you heard the testimony of Mr. Evans and the report of the planner as well?
Yes, I did.
Are you in full agreement?
Yes, I'm fully agree.
experienced developer within the city of Paterson, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, so at this time, I'm gonna open it up to the public, so if anyone in the public has any questions of either Mr. Evans or Mr. Fernando here, please call in, at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 3158. I'll give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes, no more than that for call-ins, and no more than 3 minutes for your question of either witness. At this time, Madam Secretary, do we have any call-ins?
We have two.
Okay, good. All right, please put them through.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, they're there, madam.
Okay, I don't know who's talking.
Yes, is this Miss Jacqueline Ellis or Lucille Ellis? Which one of the two?
It's Jacqueline Ellis. We both are here.
Okay, Mrs. Ellis.
Okay, so Ms. Ellis, you need to tell me, state your name and your address for the record, please.
Yes, Jacqueline Ellis, 453 Hamilton Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay, and your question is for whom?
For the home that they're talking about for 451 Hamilton Ave.
Right, but your question, I'm looking for, okay, wait a minute, I'm looking for questions, not comments. If you have a question of either the architect or Mr. Fernando, this is the time to do that. Okay, if you have a comment, then you can save it till the end.
Okay, the question is, these homes here are sister homes, and he's stating that they put up a two-family house. We have been keeping up this lot. I have never met this man, so why is he saying that this house is suitable for that size of a home?
Okay, we will take that question on, Madam Chair, without a problem. My client is the lawful owner of this property under his LLC for quite some time, okay? And he's looking to develop the lot in its existing character. It's a tax lot of record, and it's comparable, as our testimony indicated, for two other lots that contain two-family residents in the city. So, we are clearly the owner and entitled to make the application, and we do feel it's a positive benefit to the applicant, as well as not creating any negative impact, but providing new housing for the city. So that's essentially our answer.
It's a home going up still. As far as parking garage, I'm sorry, is the home gonna be sitting like still as far as underground parking garage? Because if so, then we're looking at exhaust from other cars that will be coming into our home during whatever time this is operating and going.
Madam Chair, can I stop you real quick? I believe this is a separate person speaking right now. There's two, Jacqueline Ellis and Lucille Ellis. Miss Lucille, you have to wait to your turn because your name and address has to be on the record as well.
I apologize.
Thank you. So Miss Jacqueline, are you done with your question?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Madam Chair, you can move on to Miss Lucille now.
Well, it still has to be sworn in.
Well, not sworn in, or just put her name on the record.
Put your name and address. That's
Okay,
what I need.
I'm sorry, Lucille Ellis, address 463 Hamilton Ave, Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay, so now your question, please.
My question is, when this here house is being constructed to be built, and they're talking about a two-car garage, will this house be sitting like still? Because from the way it's being explained, and I'm looking at it on the internet, it's a 3-story building. So it's going to be higher than what ours is. And but if underground parking is staying apart, how much space are we going to have between that and that wall? As far as exhausting or coming into our home? I'm concerned because I have family members who with asthmatic.
Okay, Mr. Evans can answer part of those questions, Madam Chair. We will point out for the record that we do not have a height variance for this application. We're proposing 34 feet, 35 is permitted, and number of stories, 3 stories are permitted, so there's no variance being sought. Can you explain about the setback? Is it the house next door that the party owns, is that correct, Matt? It looks like, yeah, okay.
And that's, that the property adjacent to us is approximately 3 feet off the property line, their property line. Ours would be approximately 3 feet off, so there'd be 6 feet in between the buildings, which is consistent with, the zoning and on these smaller lots, and, would not negatively impact, the area. The garage would be a residential 2-car garage similar to many houses, throughout, the area in New Jersey. So there would not be any commercial type of exhaust or anything, of that nature. It'd basically be a 2-family, house.
We are seeking now a minor side yard setback variance, I believe.
Yeah, and that's due to the lot width. We're looking at a foot,
Less than a foot variance.
yeah, less than a foot.
And as you say, when you combine our setback with theirs, it's a 6-foot differential.
Yeah, about approximately 6 feet in between the buildings, but the stories and the height are within the R2, requirements.
Okay. That would conclude our answer, Madam Chair.
Okay. Allison, that answer your question?
Yes, it answers it. Yes, it will not lead to the.
Do you have any other questions?
Answers will not lead.
All right, we appreciate,
Stuff in the spot.
we appreciate your question. I can't hear what's going on right now, because it's being.
So I'm a third person with a question. I don't think.
Okay, well, hold on a minute. Excuse me, one moment. We did not call you yet. I just want to make sure that Allison and Jacqueline are done, okay? And I was just about to ask for the next caller. If you have any other questions, Jacqueline, okay, or Allison, now is the time. I'll give you another minute or so to please ask your question, and I have to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, we are family living here, so this is Jacqueline Ellis. So my older sister is here, and her name wasn't added to the list. If she can't ask the question, then let her submit it to me and I'll ask. Is that okay?
I'm not saying she can't ask the question. I'm saying that she can't just interrupt until we call on her, and I have to know who she is.
Apologies, thought you were finished.
No, I was not. Okay, so please state your name and address for the record.
Deborah Ellis, Ellis, 463 Hamilton Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay, and your question is for, is it the owner or
Okay, for
Matt Evans?
whoever, excuse me?
Is it
Oh, whoever can give me the answer.
Go for it.
In the past, the prior home that was on that property was a 1-family home with a garage. Not a 2-garage, a garage. Now we're being informed that this is going to be converted to a 2-family property home with 2 garages. So folks on our property, I have a problem with that. Since our home and the next home on this block are all 1-family homes, never 2-family.
And I believe that Mr. Evans or the attorney, Mr. Maricondo, will answer that.
Sure. I'll be reaching to Mr. Evans momentarily, Madam Chair. I will indicate to the caller that this is an R3, high medium density residential zone. That's why we're before the planning board, because the proposal for a 2-family is a permitted use, subject to certain conditions that the board has to approve. We know that there was residential use on the site before. We did not have the exact history, but we understand that this was always residential. Also, your home is a 1 or a 2-family house.
1.
And you have a daycare business, it appears?
No.
No more.
No longer. It's been done and over with. No. It wasn't expensive.
It's no longer daycare operation there, okay. Okay.
The sign is down.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt, but, we are recording this proceeding and we have a court reporter that needs to listen to every word that is said. So we need to have you speak one at a time and speak into your microphone or your phone so that she can hear you. Thank you.
That would conclude our presentation.
All right.
On to that question, Madam Chair.
Okay, and I believe that question's been answered, so I'm gonna move on. And I'm gonna ask, Madam Secretary, do we have any other callers?
I'm checking, Madam Chair. No, we do not.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to close the public portion. I make a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Is that Commissioner Hassan or Hussein?
Yeah.
Hussein.
Hussein?
Yes.
All
All in favor?
Roll call, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
And if you're,
Are you there? She needs to hear you. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
thank you, thank you.
Okay. All right, so, I guess that, I'm gonna ask our commissioners, do you have any questions of either Mr. Evans or Mr. Fernando? Commissioners, anything? Okay, I hear nothing from our commissioners, so I'm gonna ask Mr. Maricondo to please wrap this up and summarize, please.
Sure. Thank you again, Madam Chair. Very precisely, I believe I can recommend to the board, in our opinion, that we have a site here that is very suitable for a permitted use. The comparable two families and other residents in the area are very similar to our proposal. We do provide off-street parking, which some of the parcels do not. Again, for all the reasons set forth in Mr. Evans' testimony, we believe this will be an asset to the neighborhood. And again, we emphasize that the zoning ordinance and the master plan very strongly pushes and recommends the development of lots that are either on corners or middle of the block areas to be developed rather than be left vacant. And of course, the need for new housing is an acknowledged goal of the zoning ordinance. And again, the variances are very minor. We conform to height and building story. The variances are very limited. The side setbacks are very limited in terms of the variances, and they're very similar to the surrounding area. As a matter of fact, the building coverage in the application is also very limited, so that we believe that we're going to conform to most of the requirements of the R3 zone. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Do I have anyone that would like to make a motion on this application? Okay, I'm gonna make it. Okay, on the application of Paragon NJ LLC 411 19th Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey, 461 Hamilton Avenue, Block 3416, Lot 9. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting site plan approval, bulk variance, and city engineer, HEP Soil Conservation Service. And I also want to reiterate that this must remain, I know it was said and I know it was entered in earlier, but I'm going to say it again, it must remain a two-family home. Am I out? Anything else? Am I missing anything?
No, Madam Chair, I was going to suggest that even though it was made part of the review, that we make it a condition anyway, so we took care of it.
Okay, good. All right, do I have a second?
A second?
Second by Commissioner Lorenzo. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hassan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hussein,
Yes.
Commissioner Liranzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Roman,
Yeah.
Madam Vice Chair Santana,
Yes.
and Madam Chair Northwell.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, the motion passes.
Congratulations. All right.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to move on to the third application, which is Paragon Asset Management LLC 253, 259 Harrison Street, Block 3210, Lot 9. Mr. Mr. Maricano, are you representing this application?
I am,
The application. Losing my mind, okay. All right, so, the applicant proposes to remove the existing structures and construct a new four-story multi-dwelling, family dwelling with a total of 18 units. The first floor proposes a lobby, a packet room, mailboxes, an elevator, 2 staircases, a trash recyclable area, a mechanical room, and 15 total parking spaces. Each of the second, third, and fourth floors proposes 5 one-bedroom units and 1 studio unit. Where the tenants use the second and third floors proposes a gym area, and the fourth floor proposes a flex space. The roof floor plan proposes an area for the mechanical units and a rooftop recreation area. The parcel has an area of 7,000 square feet. This proposal is within the RA-2 zone of the fourth ward redevelopment plan, and variance is requested for the following. Front yard setback is 3 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed. One side yard setback is 5 feet is required and 3.8 feet is proposed. Rear yard setback as 20 feet is required and 5 feet is proposed. A building stories as 3.5 stories are required and 4 stories are proposed. The maximum building coverage as 60% is required and 82.5% is proposed. Maximum impervious coverage, sorry, let me go back. I don't know whether my eyes are not good tonight or the print is so small. Okay, let me go back. Okay, maximum impervious surface coverage as 80% is required and 89.3% is proposed. And parking is 18 parking spaces are required. 2 electric vehicle spaces are accredited towards reducing the requirement to 16 parking spaces, and 15 parking spaces are proposed. So this requires site plan approval, bulk variances, and this is their first appearance. So I'm going to ask Ms. Barsbood to please give us your review.
Sure. The applicant paid up the property taxes today, so property taxes and surcharges are current. The question mark will be removed from the staff report. Fernando Hernandez, providing an address of 226 Belmont Avenue in Helden, New Jersey, is the sole stockholder of Paterson Asset Management, LLC. As indicated on the property survey prepared by William Manning of PAC Surveying, an environmental consultant, and dated January 3rd, 2020, the parcel is located on the northern side of Harrison Street and contains an existing 2-story frame building with a front porch which is placed on the western side of the parcel. A chain link fence is located on the left, right, rear, and part of the front property line. The subject property has frontage of 80 feet on Harrison Street, rear lot line of 80 feet, and eastern and western lot lines that each measures 87.50 feet. The parcel has area of 7,000 square feet or 0.16 acres. 2 existing 2.5-story residential dwellings are located to the east and west of the property. According to the survey, the subject property has a slight upward slope towards the rear of the property. DJ Agarian Association has prepared a 4-page site plan revised on May 31st, 2022. Drawing 1 indicates the title of the project information and description, the aerial view of the property in the zoning table. Drawing 2 indicates the existing conditions and demolition plan, as well as the proposed site plan. The existing conditions and demolition plan indicates that the existing structures on the property will be removed. The proposed site plan indicates that the proposed building is to be located 0 feet from the Harrison Street front property line, 5 feet from the rear property line, and 3.8 feet and 5 feet from the eastern and western property lines, respectively. The site plan also indicates a parking garage accommodating 15 parking spaces, of which 1 space is a handicapped parking space. All of the parking spaces are equipped with the electric vehicle charging station. Also, 4 egress doors are proposed on the site plan, of which 2 doors provide access to the staircases located on the north and southeast sides of the building. 1 door provides access to the mechanical room, and the other door provides access to the trash and recycle room. A masonry block retaining wall rising in height towards the rear of the property is proposed 4 feet in height at the highest one along the left, rear, and right property lines. The concrete sidewalks on the eastern and western side yards, the line of the building's overhanging canopy, the 24-foot drop curb to access the parking garage, the garage automatic gate, the stop sign, and 2 street trees are also indicated on the site plan. Drawing 3 indicates the details for the building's exterior lighting. No security camera is indicated on the site plan. Drawing 4 title construction details indicates the utility trench, the temporary and final asphalt replacement, the typical curb and curb ramp, the handicap pedestrian ramp, the handicap streeting layout, the surface parking connection, the sign detail, the parking stall, the roof leader, the planting, the sanitary sewer lateral and cleanout, the tracking pad, and the silt fence. The intent of the RA-2 residential district is designed to permit a more intensive residential use of land with various types of dwellings. The surrounding existing dwellings consist of older multi-family dwellings of 2.5-story and 3-story in height. Plan architecture has provided a 7-page architectural submittal with the last revision on May 25, 2022. Drawing 8.0 is the title page and indicates the proposed front elevation rendering, the residential unit square footage and volume calculation, the zoning information, the project description, the drawing list, and the key map. Drawing 8.200 indicates the proposed ground floor and parking plan. The ground floor plan indicates a parking garage with a total of 16 parking spaces, including 1 handicap parking space and 1 parallel parking. All of the parking spaces will be equipped with electric vehicle charging stations. The regular 90-degree parking spaces are measured 8.5 feet by 18 feet. The handicap space is measured 10 feet by 18 feet with a dedicated 5 feet strip space, and the parallel parking space is measured 8 feet in width and 20 feet in length. According to the Land Development Ordinance, the required width of a 90-degree parking space is 9 feet, and the required width and depth of a parallel parking space are 9 feet and 22 feet, respectively. Since the applicant is deviating from this requirement, a variance is required. The ground floor plan also indicates a proposed drive height of 24 feet, which meets the city's requirement. The parking garage is accessed via a rolling gate. The lobby, the elevator, the mailboxes, 2 internal staircases, the refuse and recycle area, the package room, and the mechanical and utility room are all indicated on the ground floor plan as well. Drawing 8.201 is titled Second and Third Floor Plans and indicates typical floor plans for the second and third floors, as well as a partial floor plan indicating 242 square feet of 5 storage room located on the second floor. The third floor contains 242 square feet of gym area for the tenants. In addition, each of the second and third floors indicates 1 studio unit and 5 one-bedroom units. The studio unit in each second and third floor is 592 square feet, and it contains a kitchen and open living area, a laundry and utility closet, and a full handicap bathroom. The one-bedroom units are 700 square feet, 706, 742, 748, and 795 square feet, and they contain a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a laundry closet, a utility closet, and a full handicap bathroom. 2 internal staircases, the elevator, and the trash and recycling chute are all shown on the second and third floor plan. Drawing 8.202, titled S4 proposed floor plan, indicates the 4th floor plan containing 1 studio unit and 5 one-bedroom units. The elevator, 2 staircases, the trash chute, and 242 square feet of flex space for the tenants. The studio unit is 592 square feet, and it contains a kitchen, an open living area, a laundry and utility closet, and a full handicap bathroom. The one-bedroom units are 700 square feet, 706 square feet, 742 square feet, 748 square feet, and 795 square feet, and they contain a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a laundry closet, a utility closet, and a full handicap bathroom. Drawing 8.203, title as roof proposed floor plan, indicates the building's roof plan being partially utilized as tenant's rooftop recreation area, which contains a sitting area of 2,134 square feet. This area is enclosed with a 4-foot-high fence and secured with a 4-foot-high parapet wall. The mechanical condenser units are also indicated on the roof plan. Drawing 8.500 indicates the front and right side elevation plan. The Harrison Street elevation indicates the metal perimeter fence, the building main entrance with a metal canopy above, and the garage gate access. The front facade also indicates a brick veneer, a horizontal siding, a vertical board, and a composite and vertical panel. A second through fourth floor indicates a 3 double windows and 1 triple window. The windows on either side of the triple window on each floor have decorative metal Juliet railings. Similar to the front elevation plan, the right side elevation plan indicates a brick veneer, a horizontal siding, a vertical board, and a composite and vertical panel. A second through fourth floor indicates 2 single windows and 3 double windows, and the staircase on the roof indicates 1 single window. The left and rear elevation plans also indicate a brick veneer, a horizontal siding, a vertical board, and a composite and vertical panel. The left side elevation plan proposes a single window and 4 double windows for each second through fourth floor. The rear elevation plan proposes a single window and a double window for the second floor and a single window and 2 triple windows for each third and fourth floor. A window for the internal staircase is indicated on the roof level. The applicant proposes a height of 42.5 feet for this building. Variances are requested for the following: front yard setback as 3 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed. One side yard setback as 5 feet is required and 3.8 feet is proposed. Rear yard setback as 20 feet is required and 5 feet is proposed. Building stories as 3.5 stories are required and 4 stories are proposed. Maximum building coverage as 60% is required and 82.5% is proposed. Maximum impervious surface coverage as 80% is required and 89.3% is proposed. And parking as 18 parking spaces are required, 2 electric vehicle spaces are credited towards reducing the requirement. 16 parking spaces and 15 parking spaces are proposed. There is a requirement of 2,700 square feet of an open space and tenant amenity area for this proposal. The applicant is proposing a total of 2,860 square feet of amenity area for the tenants, of which 242 square feet is devoted to the storage room in the second floor, 242 square feet to the gym area in the third floor, 242 square feet to a flex space in the fourth floor, and 2,134 square feet to the tenant's amenity area on the rooftop. As this is a redevelopment area, the planning board must determine whether the granting of the requested variances to allow the number of dwelling units proposed by the applicant is appropriate for the lot and the immediate surrounding area. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the Wrigley Park section of the city. The surrounding neighborhood is mainly residential of 2.5 and 3-story multifamily dwellings. The 16-story building of Dr. Norman Cotton's residence, located on the northeast corner of Paterson Street and Rosa Parks Boulevard, is within the same block as the subject property. In conclusion, the applicant estimates that this proposal will cost approximately $6 million. The applicant should incorporate the design elements contained within the 440 development plan on the site and within the building. Public staff review for this project, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Parsons. Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We'll be calling three witnesses, our architect witness, our site plan engineer, as well as the applicant this evening. I'd like to start out with Frank Troy, our architectural witness first, if I could.
What's his name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Frank Troy.
Okay. He needs to be sworn in, please.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Sure. Do you solemnly state or affirm that the testimony you're about to give during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, you now know.
Frank, could you state your name and professional background and licensing to the board, please, if you would?
Sure. My name is Frank Troia, Troia. I work for Plan Architect located at 267 Pascack Road in Township of Washington, New Jersey. I have been a project architect there for about 8 years now. I graduated from New Jersey Institute of Technology with a degree in architecture. I am licensed in the state of New Jersey under good standing, and I have appeared before this board as well as other boards throughout northern New Jersey on similar matters.
And we accept him as an expert witness. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Frank, obviously you had an opportunity to hear Ms. Harmliz's report.
Yes.
And as such, you're fully familiar with this project, of course. Could you give us a little background in terms of the existing conditions that you're working with and how you designed this plan? Clearly, it's a site that is designed to meet a certain demographic need. I think you would agree with the 15 ones and the three studios.
Mm-hmm.
And you've taken into account, I'm sure, many factors in developing that design. I would also point out before direct testimony to the commissioners that we've been working with your staff on this project for several months. We've made some modifications and worked with the board, worked with your planning staff to bring it very, very much into compliance with the goals of the redevelopment plan. And now we're with you tonight after quite a bit of due diligence, we believe, on this project. So that being said, Frank, could you give us your background on the site?
Sure. I will start by just sharing my screen so the board has the ability to see. Basically, the client Fernando came to us. Currently, the site has a dilapidated abandoned home on it. It's a 2.5-story dwelling, and again, it's abandoned. And then the rest of the site is fairly vacant. He came to us asking us to design a multi-family building that would fit in with the surrounding context of the neighborhood. And one of the most important factors to us was to try and accommodate as much parking on site as we could. That is the primary reason for us requesting a story variance, is so that we can fit on site parking underneath the building and then have 3 stories, which is permitted, of residential above it. So while it is a 4-story building, the first floor of that structure is open air parking. So there is no residential on it. As far as Bob mentioned, it is a multifamily building, so it's 4 stories, 3 residential, over 1-story parking. It's a total of 18 units. That's a mix between 1-bedroom and studio units. Our thinking being that the demographic we're aiming for are more younger demographic that would utilize a 1-bedroom or a studio and might or might not have a car as they may be commuting into their work. So, younger generations that are working from home or commuting don't typically always have cars. So that's why we feel the 15 parking spaces for 18 units would be acceptable for this size building. I will go to the next sheet of A200 and talk about the parking a little bit. So as it was mentioned, we are providing 15 spaces. All of these spaces will have the option for EV hookups. So that is a surplus of what would be required for the credit of the 2 spaces. So we are exceeding that by 13 spaces. To talk a little bit about the size of the spaces, so we do understand that we do not meet the the 9-foot width of the required parking space, but we felt that it would be more beneficial to have more parking spaces than to try and meet that 9-foot width and lose another space or two. We do feel that the 8'6" is adequate for somebody to park and exit their vehicle. It's only 6-inch deviation from what the standard is. As for the parallel space, again, I understand that 9 foot wide is required by 22 feet deep. The reason why we propose 20 foot by 8 feet is so that we can keep a 1 foot buffer or 10-inch buffer between the parking space to curb and the wall of the building. And then also so that we can maintain a 4'2" walkway leading up to the front entrance. Typically, these standards are enforced when there's multiple parking spaces in a row. Because there's only one parking space here, we feel that somebody should have no problem being able to park in the space, being that there's just a curb in front of it and behind it, and also that there will be, most likely nobody exiting on the inner wall side of that parking space. And it's not a typical road that would be having through traffic on the driver's side. So when they're getting out of the car, they have a little bit more space than they typically would, because normally you would have traffic passing you, where here, since it's a garage, the traffic's going to be very, very minimal for whoever would be using that space. As pointed out, the rest of the first floor is mainly used up for either egress stairs, the lobby, which we do have a mail location, and a package room located in it, as well as an elevator. Both egress stairs do lead directly out to the walkway around the entire perimeter of the building, where we did, for the most part, maintain a 5-foot setback. That 5-foot setback is the threshold for what the building code considers a fire safety risk as it relates to the property line. So anything below 5 foot is considered more of a hazard, where you're limited on the amount of openings and the type of construction used. So once you're 5 foot or greater, they don't consider it as much of a hazard, and you're allowed more openings, which would be required for apartments above to have the, maximize the amount of natural light and ventilation into each unit. Where we do slightly encroach on that 5 foot is only for this small portion of 27 feet at the front right-hand side of the building. And this is mainly so that we could have enough of room in the lobby, have room for the stair hall, well going up, and then also provide some relief along the facade, so it's not so much of a just straight rectangular box, but we have a little bit of depth in and out, and it gives some relief, and it helps break up the monotony of the facade. I will also mention that the parking lot, or underground ground floor parking, will be fully enclosed by a perimeter fence, as well as a security gate along the front. That security gate will be accessed by means of, I believe, a fob, but some sort of means where somebody will pull up, that gate will open for them if they have the proper credentials to enter underneath. So it will not be open to the general public, and there will never be an issue of somebody just parking in there and leaving their car and causing issues for the tenants of the building. The client does also propose to install security cameras around the perimeter of the building to ensure safety for all of the residents around there, and safety for the residents of the rest of the neighborhood as well. Going on to sheet A201, this is the first floor of residential, but it starts at the second floor. So while we were looking at this, we wanted to, maximize number of units that we could, but also we wanted to make sure we upheld a certain standard of luxury for these units. So looking at different markets and what a standard size 1-bedroom unit is, we're falling between 700 and 800, which is pretty adequate for most luxury apartment units that are being rented in today's market. All of the units come equipped with a spacious chef's kitchen, which would have a range dishwasher, sink, and a standard size refrigerator. They all have, will either have a peninsula or will have an island built in separately. All units have a one bedroom with a oversized closet, so they will all have ample storage within their units, as well as the option to have additional storage space on the second floor in the communal area. In addition to that, we are providing laundry in every unit to uphold that luxurious status. And then as far as the materials we use, we will use high-end materials for fixtures, cabinets, countertops, flooring, the entry doors into the units, all of that. We are proposing all high-end finishes and fixtures. The units located at the front of the building will have the benefit of having a Juliet balcony. So rather than having a window, they will have a patio-style sliding door that will open up, and then the railing will be in front of that for fall protection and safety. Again, all the units are maintaining the same amenities. While they vary a little bit in the square footage, they do have the same amenities, even down to the studio unit that we are offering. The only difference with the studios, they do have a slightly smaller kitchen, since typically only one person would be living there, and the demand for a larger kitchen isn't really seen when you have a efficient unit as of such. Another important note is all the bathrooms will be ADA accessible and adaptable, as well as all the units. They will all meet full ADA codes. So going on to the amenity space, as noted, we are providing storage on the second floor. We will provide a gym fitness area on the third floor, and then going to the fourth floor is where we will have a flex space, which can be used as a meeting room, as a conference work room if somebody needs to use it for work, if they're working at home. It'll have multiple uses for the tenants of that building, whether it's a party room as well. But it is a space located on the interior of the building, and we do feel that in today's market, having these spaces is ideal for the tenants that live there. In addition to that, we are providing garbage chutes for both recycling and garbage refuse. And we do that mainly so that it prevents the tenants themselves from having to lug their garbage and refuse through the elevator, through the lobby, into a dumpster somewhere. This is a much cleaner solution to that, so that you just walk down the hallway, there's a chute that you open a door to, and you drop it down, and that drops down to a room on the ground floor where there will be a bin, and then a property manager will take care of bringing that out to the road on days of garbage pickup or recycling pickup. Finally, on sheet A203, we are proposing a rooftop terrace as further amenity space for the users of the building. And, this will just give them a place outdoors to be able to hang out, relax, and enjoy the outside, since there really is no other space on the property to provide that. All we're proposing as far as structures on that story are just the elevator shaft and bulkhead, as well as the stairs, and then a tiny receiving vestibule area where the elevator is. Other than that, the rooftop mainly remains open. We will fence off between where the recreation area is and where any utility areas might be, as far as where condensers for the building might go, or any other utility equipment that will be needed. Going to the elevations, as it was mentioned, we do have a 4-foot parapet that will be above the rooftop deck. So that 4-foot parapet will screen out any utility equipment or vents that will be penetrating this roof. So none of this will be visible from the street level, or probably even a second or third story level of one of the adjoining multifamily homes or dwellings. For the building facade, we thought it was very important to try and, again, bring down the scale of the building. So we chose to go with a tripartite facade, which means you have 3 different levels. So you have a base where we have masonry veneer. We have a mid-level where we're proposing horizontal lap siding, and then as well as a bay bump out with composite paneling on that. And then on the top, which would be the capital, we propose a different material, a vertical board and batten. All of these combined together help break up the height of the facade into different organizations. So you have the base, you have the midsection, and then you have the top section, and it all just helps, again, bring down the scale of the building. In addition to that, we are just proposing different architectural design elements to help enhance the aesthetic of the building. So in certain areas, we do run the brick all the way up to the roof. We have a series of different cornices around the parapets, and that's, again, to break up the monotony of just having one straight horizontal line across the top. It gives additional relief and gives additional interest to the aesthetic of the building. All the windows and doors will be proposed are black frame windows and doors, so it holds a slightly more modern aesthetic for the building, but we are still utilizing fairly traditional materials for the facade and the rest of the elevations along the building. Going to the left and the rear side elevations, again, we're following that same tripart facade method where we have the masonry base, the lap side and throughout the center, and at the top floor we would have the vertical board and batten. We really put a lot of thought into it because, again, we want to maximize the natural light into each unit, but we do it in an organized way where the windows are stacked from the outside so it looks clean and it's not very staggered. We do provide windows in the stairwell so that, again, they feel more inviting than if there were no windows in there. And then, we just feel that this will add to the enhancement of the neighborhood around it, being that, most of the neighborhood is made up of multifamily dwellings, as well as noted up the block, there is a 15-story apartment building as well. So we feel this would fit right in with the surrounding area and context. So I believe with that, I do wrap up my presentation, and if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Okay, at this time, I'm just gonna ask Mr. Maricon if you bring your next witness forward, please.
Sure, that'd be Mr. Garion.
Where is he? Oh, I see him. May I have the correct spelling of your last name? Is he muted? Are you muted?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Correct spelling?
Yes, it's Egarian.
I got it, Mr. Garion. Okay, so, he needs to be sworn in?
Do you solemnly state or affirm that the testimony you're about to give during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, Your Honor.
And at this time, I'm gonna ask everybody to mute themselves, okay, so that we can hear the testimony.
Mr. Garion, Jamie, will you give us your professional background and licensing?
Sure, absolutely. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. I've been licensed since 2016. I have testified before this board before on similar projects. My license is in good standing. And any questions on my qualifications? Go ahead.
No, we accept you as an expert witness. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you. Jeff, obviously you've heard the testimony of Mr. Troya as well as the report of Somas. Is that correct on behalf of the city?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Based on the architectural testimony, could you follow up for us in terms of your site plan preparation?
Yeah, absolutely. So as usual, Ms. Margu's report is very thorough and in-depth. Should cover much of the existing conditions and proposed conditions on the lot, so I'll supplement a few items in her report. I'll share my screen so you can see the site plan. Just confirming. Can everybody see that okay?
It's small. It's a little small, but yes, we can see it.
Okay. Is that any better for viewing? So on the left side of the sheet is the existing conditions plan. As you can see, the existing lot is it's currently occupied by a two-story building with concrete walkways, concrete retaining walls, depressed curb fencing. The house is situated on the left side of the lot, or the westerly side of the lot, where the easterly side of the lot is vacant and unoccupied, and it currently consists of like a lawn, brush, overgrown combination. The topography slopes from the north to the south and from back to the front towards Harrison Street. And lastly, there's a concrete sidewalk and curbing along the frontage of Harrison Street. All the existing features of the property are going to be removed, fencing, concrete, walkways, structures, everything, including the trees, for the construction of the proposed apartment or complex. I'll switch over to the proposed conditions plan so you can see. The lot is 80 feet wide by 87.5 feet deep, approximately 7,000 square feet. We're proposing the building to be situated on the lot. We've covered the variances for front yard setback, side yard setback, and rear yard setback. The building will occupy 82.5% of the lot, therefore, again, requesting a building coverage variance. We're proposing sidewalks along the side and a portion, both side yards and a portion of the rear yard, which would bring our impervious coverage percentage to 89.3%, which again requires a variance for impervious coverage. The ground floor will contain 18 parking spaces, as the architect has testified. We are proposing a retaining wall around the perimeter of the side and rear yards to essentially level off the property so we can install the building at a level ground. The maximum height of the wall will be 4 feet in the northwest corner of the property, and it will be smaller towards the front property line and the easterly property line. We're proposing a new drop curve along Harrison Street with a 24-foot wide common driveway to access the parking area and the building. We're proposing street trees along the new concrete sidewalk in conformance with the city standards. We are proposing to route the stormwater from the existing building through the curb line on Harrison Street, where it will flow to the east and connect to the catch basin on the corner of Harrison Street and Jelsma Place. Lighting will be installed according to the city standards, and the result of the project won't have any negative impact on the adjacent properties from a civil engineering perspective.
Jeff, if you would, regarding the variances, I know Mr. Troy covered them in its entirety. Are you satisfied that the parking and the ingress and egress are functional in accordance with his plan and your plan?
Yes.
Okay. Would that conclude your testimony?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So we're open for questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, I'm gonna open it then, just bear with me, I'm trying to get, of course, Madam Chair probably has it. I'm gonna open it up to the public right now, to see if anyone from the public has any questions, they would call in on. Madam Secretary, do you have the number?
I am, yes, I'm sorry, 973-321-1579, meeting ID 3158.
Okay, great, so I'm gonna allow, 2 or 3 minutes for the call-ins and 3 minutes for the questions. Do we have any callers at this time?
I am verifying as we speak. There's no callers, Madam Chair.
Then I'm going to ask, the commissioners if they have any questions of either witness.
Commissioner Hussein, I have a question.
This is, Hassan?
Hussein.
Hussein, I'm sorry, yes, Commissioner Hussein, please go ahead.
Well, my question is, since it's a 18-unit dwelling, are they gonna have a security camera for safety? I
believe Mr. Troy had covered that there will be security cameras, but Frank, I can recall you to go over that again?
Sure. Yeah, so we are going to propose security cameras around the entire perimeter of the I don't know the exact number of them yet, but there'll be most likely a camera covering each door as well as kind of each corner of the building, as it goes around the walkway.
Will they be secured with the Paterson Police Department hooked up to theirs?
If that would satisfy the board, I'm sure the owner would have no
Yes.
problem. Yes, I'm sure they would have no problem doing that.
All right, great.
Commissioner Hussein?
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Hussein, anything else?
No, that's all. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. All right, Madam Secretary, anybody in?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, so now I'm gonna, since nobody's called in, and it's been, let me just see if any more of our commissioners has any questions. Any commissioners have any other questions?
Yes, hi, this is Commissioner Hassan. I have a quick question.
Yes.
I don't think I hear about any fire safety protocol or measures that we're gonna take. I'm assuming every floor has the fire alarm and all the exit signs. I just wanna make sure, I know we're gonna have them, but I just wanna make sure that we have them.
Yeah, Commissioner was saying that actually has to be also, the city has to do an inspection on that anyway, and it's gonna be mandatory. If I'm not mistaken, but I'll let the witness go ahead and explain that.
Right, how do we meet the fire code compliance?
Sure, and sorry, I should have probably touched on that, but yes, the building will be fully sprinklered, it will be fully fire rated as per the New Jersey building code, and we will meet all building code requirements. As the Commissioner mentioned, it will need to be approved by the building department, so we will meet all those codes applicable. And as I mentioned, the reason for the 5 foot was to create a less hazard building, because if we were closer than 5 feet to the property line, they would consider it higher hazard. So we are maintaining 5 feet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioners, any questions? Okay, I'm gonna close, I make a motion to close the public portion. Do I have a second?
Second,
Was that Commissioner Hassan or Hussein?
Hussein.
Okay, and.
All in favor?
Aye. Commissioners, say aye. No.
Thank you.
Okay, so I close that portion, and if there's no questions from the commissioners, then I'm gonna ask, that Mr. Maricon to summarize.
Thank you. And the applicant, just for the record, the applicant was here, the same applicant as was present on the first case, and as such, he's a very experienced developer within the city of Paterson. I will close by saying that as I opened as well, this is a project that had a lot of thought and work put into it in terms of its development. This is designed to provide quality housing, as our experts talked about, for 1-bedroom and studio units that obviously meet the demands for a certain demographic, which is growing, of young couples or single persons or older couples. And we believe that the design and the amenities that we've provided here, including the rooftop terrace, the ability to provide just about 1 parking space for every unit, provides us with an application that we believe meets the spirit and intent of the redevelopment plan. And obviously the placement of 18 new units in this area will not probably spur other development, but it's really in accordance with what has already occurred in this area as well up to this point. So I think it's another step forward in the redevelopment of the fourth ward. That being said, I will conclude at this time. Thank you.
Would anyone like to make a motion on this application? Commissioners? Okay, I'm gonna make the motion. Bear with me one moment, please. Okay. On the application, Paragon asked that, management LLC 253-259 Harrison Street, block 3210, lot 9. I move that the board attorney grant site plan granting, I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting site plan approval, bulk variances, city engineer, HEP, Hudson, Essex, Passaic Soil Conservation, and also make a condition, I didn't hear it either during the review, that there will be security cameras, and they will be hooked up to the Paterson Police Department, and Mr. Aquaviva, was there anything else?
I did not hear anything else, Madam Chair.
And Madam Secretary, did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything, no.
Okay, so I assume that's all then on this one. It's a nice design, I'm gonna say that, very much. So, do I have a second?
I second.
A second by Commissioner Lorenzo. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hassan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hussein,
Yes.
Commissioner Liranzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Roman,
Yeah.
Madam Vice Chair Santana,
Yes.
and Madam Chair Northrup.
Yes.
Thank you, congratulations, and the motion passes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
I believe we have another order of business. I think we have one. Or no, maybe we don't.
Yes, we do. Just a resolution, that's all.
Okay, so Mr. Aquaviva will read it.
Are we ready to go?
We're ready.
So,
Okay, on the application of, excuse me, Paterson's One LLC, for the property located at 50-58 Camden Street, lot 5606, lot 17. The property being located in the multifamily residential zone of the Area 11 Neighborhood Redevelopment Plan. The applicant was seeking site plan approval on both variances to remove the existing one-story masonry building on the site and to construct a 5-story residential building. Modified on the record, I should say amended on the record, the applicant revised the application to remove the top floor of the proposed building, which eliminated 10 units from the original application, and thereby reducing the parking variance to 5 spaces. The board considered and heard and considered this matter at its October 3rd, 2022 special meeting. Do I have a motion?
So move.
by Commissioner Lorenzo, I second it.
I'm gonna call everyone but Commissioner Hassan, okay? And my, motion was Liranzo, and second was Santana?
No, me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Hussein? Commissioner Hussein?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Liranzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Roman?
Yeah.
Madam Vice Chair Santana?
Yes.
And Madam Chair Northrup?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
That concludes our business for tonight. However, I believe our next meeting is November 30th. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Would you please, can someone please read which commissioners must attend this meeting? And for those who intend to come and attend the meeting and that weren't here at the first hearing, then those particular commissioners have to get the transcript.
Okay, correct. And hold on 1 second, because I did not come prepared for that. Can I just?
Reporter, are we off the record?
Oh, yes, we are.
I didn't make a motion to close, but I will now. Motion to close, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are off the record, and now, we're back on just with the commissioners. I believe there were at least five of us that had to attend. I know Commissioner Lorenzo was there, I was there. I think Commissioner Santana was there, were you not, Commissioner?
Yes, I was there, and I'm gonna be there on the 30th.
And Figueroa was there.
And Figueroa probably will be okay by then, because right now she's not feeling well, so that's that. Okay, who else? There was somebody, a few other people.
I believe Ahmed was there as well.
Okay, was Commissioner Hussein there?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody understands, those of us who were there, please make every effort to be there because we need the quorum to continue. If you weren't there and you are going to attend this meeting, then request the transcript, please, for this meeting, which is November 30th. This is a very important